Today I'm going to be sharing all about my finished, amazing Technicolor dream sweater. Hey y'all, it's Terla. Hey y'all, it's Terla from yokieB.com. Welcome to my channel on this snowy day here in the Rockies. It is beautiful and I'm loving seeing all the flurries. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for checking out one of my videos. I share crochet and knitting patterns and tutorials, as well as finished projects and other fun fiber things. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would love it if you'd follow along with me and hit that subscribe button. Today I'm going to be sharing all about my finished, amazing Technicolor dream sweater. This sweater is actually something I've had finished for so long, and I am just now getting around to doing a video about it. So I'm hoping that I remember all the things to tell you guys. First started this sweater probably almost 2 years ago. I think in March, it might be almost 2 years ago. We had just moved to Colorado. We weren't sure where we were gonna live. We had taken a leap of faith, and so if you wanna know more about that, I will put the blog post about how we ended up in Aspen, Colorado down below if you wanna check that out. But when we first got here, we had no idea where we were gonna live, and we lived in a tiny house Airbnb for a short period of time. And although we were so excited about being in Colorado and had actually even planned on living in a tiny house at some point, it was still hard because it wasn't our home, we didn't have a home, and it was just an Airbnb. So I kind of needed some projects to help keep my mind off of the fact that we didn't have a home. So this was one of those sweaters. I made a couple of other sweaters also during that time, but it's so amazing how knitting and crocheting can really just calm your mind down and help you to feel like you're being productive, and so it just brightens your mood. I can't remember exactly how far along I was in the sweater before I realized I had read the pattern wrong, and I really probably either needed to change up how it was gonna look or frog it and start over. So if you've been following along with me for a little while, you may know that I am a huge fan of frogging, especially if it means that you will be able to wear the garment or hat, or you'll be able to use the blanket. If it is something that you will not use and it just sits in your closet and you just look at it and it takes up space, then I definitely recommend frogging it. Use that yarn to its advantage. I actually just did a video last week where I talk about some of my frogging successes. I just feel like it is so worth it to frog it for something that you are actually gonna wear, actually gonna use. So this is one of those things. I frogged it because I love the yarn, I love the colors, and I really wanted to start it again. This is the amazing Technicolor Dream Sweater from WestKnits, and if you have never tried a WestKnits pattern, I definitely recommend it. He has so many amazing patterns. They are full of color, full of fun, full of just vibrance, and I love how unique they are. And another thing that is so awesome about so many of his patterns are that they are great stash busters. So these are definitely scraps that I didn't want to go to waste, but I wanted to use them. I had so much fun picking out colors and deciding on color combos, and then deciding how I would put them in the sweater. This is actually the second WestKnits sweater that I've made. The first one was the Pinguono. So that one was also a huge scrap yarn when it was one of the first sweaters that I ever made, and it taught me so much. I actually ended up giving it to my mom, and I want to make another one. I did not check gauge, and the same with this sweater. I really did not check gauge. I just went with it, and it's kind of fun to see like how it will end up, like using all the scraps that you have. I went with mostly Aran or worsted weight yarns, and then I just added in some bulky and then held some strands together for a different dimension. Loved using sparkles and my knit collage and my fuzzy yarn. Because I made this sweater so long ago, I'm gonna try to remember all of the details to share with you guys. So it's so funny because when I was gonna film this video, I was gonna put on the same jeans that I wore in the photo shoot for this sweater, but then they were still in the dryer, and so I was waiting, and I put on one of my favorite pairs of pants, which my mother-in-law gave me. Thank you so much. They are from Gap, and they are just these like super cozy joggers. was just wearing them for comfort, but I thought they were so cute with this sweater. So I decided to just style it up with some shoes. These shoes are probably a little more matchy than I would normally wear with my outfits, but I thought they were cute with it. So I just thought I would show you guys and just go with the video with the joggers on. I do plan on actually doing more kind of styling videos, how I style my knits. I've had a few requests for those, so if there's anything specific that you would like to see, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your ideas and what you would like to see, so definitely comment below. I know that for the sleeves, I wanted something that was unique and different for each sleeve, but then also similar, because I knew there was going to be so much activity in the front. I wanted kind of a uniform sleeve. So I went with color blocking. These sparkles are just so pretty. This is actually a yarn that I got from my friend Becca from Renee and Bert. And I think it's mixed with a Hobby Lobby yarn. I'll try to mention all of the yarns down below that I used, and this is Yarnspirations. I believe it was a cotton cake yarn, so it kind of had this transition here, and then I used the other two colors of that transition on this side. You start each piece from the sleeve, so you kind of decide how long you want your sleeve to be with this ribbing. I always like a sleeve that comes at least right to my thumb, because I just think it's super cozy. Then each piece is worked up the sleeve and then around the shoulder, and then you add these shoulder sections in later, which I think are so cute, and I was super excited to use this fuzzy yarn. This fuzzy yarn I used in my Llama Love pillow. That is actually a crochet pattern. If you'd like to check it out, I will link it down below. But I had lots of leftover fuzzy yarn, and honestly, I am in love with it. I thought it kind of looked like shoulder pads. I thought that was kind of a fun addition to the sweater. Now I do have to say it's a little wide in the neckline, and although I do like the wide neckline, it may end up being, because I've only steam blocked this, so it may end up being like super wide once I actually block it. But I do love the wider neckline with these sleeves. The pattern actually calls for several more rows up here at the neck, but I felt like with this shoulder, it just really needed kind of a wider neckline. So I decided to go with that and just do the I-cord right here on the edge. So what I did for the front is I did the reverse pattern. So when you come in from the sleeve, you just start with the rows and then you come to the middle. And so I just did the mirror image on the other side so that it was kind of uniform, but then also kind of random. And I just love how it turned out. I really love these colors. I just think there's so many fun yarns in here, and the sparkles and the little details from the knit collage yarn. I'm also obsessed with texture, so I love this fur added in, and also the fuzzy yarn, and then some cottons in there too. So I just think it makes for a really fun and visually interesting sweater. A lot of fun deciding on what to do for the back. I knew I didn't want to do exactly what I had done on the front, but I settled on this color blocking. Just think that it is super fun. Love the contrast of the front and the back. You guys know I really love unique and textured things, and also plays on patterns and colors. So this is just a super fun project all around. It uses a lot of the moss stitch, which I had never used before this pattern, and I really like the moss stitch. I actually recently just used it on a sweater that I'm working on that I will show you guys soon. Now, as far as the bottom of the sweater goes, I decided to go for a crocheted edge. He gives you an option of a brioche bottom, which I thought was super cute, and I also thought it might be a great opportunity to learn brioche. But I liked the length of the sweater, and so I didn't want to add any more length to it, and so I decided to just finish it off with a crocheted edge. It definitely kind of tightened it up a little bit, which gave it kind of a balloony effect, but I honestly like the way that it turned out. I really felt like it needed a little bit of finishing, just because I felt like with all the different weights of yarn and all the different colors, it just kind of looked unfinished on the end and not necessarily unfinished in a good way. What I used on the edge of the top and the bottom is actually, I believe, baby alpaca, sugar baby alpaca maybe, from Wool and the Gang. My friend Tara gave it to me and I love it. She had some leftovers, so she sent it to me, and I thought that it was a perfect addition to this. Plus it's super soft and just has a great texture. If you've been wanting to try a WestKnits pattern or this specific amazing Technicolor dream sweater pattern, I definitely recommend it. WestKnits patterns are so easy to follow, and honestly I think the Pinguono I started like maybe a few months after learning to knit, and there were a couple things I had to ask questions on and a couple things I had to watch a little YouTube video on. I think short rows was one of them, and the I-cord. But honestly, they are so easy to follow. I'll link this pattern down below. I purchased it from Ravelry, so I will put that down below. It's just a really fun and exciting pattern to do, and it's just really fun to figure out what colors you want to use, what yarns you want to use. It's fun to clean out your stash, and it's just a great pattern. Thank you so much for checking out my amazing Technicolor dream sweater. I love this pattern by WestKnits. I'll also link more of my finished projects down below if you'd like to check them out on my blog. I have a full blog post for this as well, so if you'd like to check that out, I will also add that link. So fun for me to be able to share these projects and just get super excited about yarn and all the things. So if you have any questions, make sure to just leave them in the comments below, and I'll be glad to get back with you if there's any specific questions you have about the yarn or anything like that. I hope you guys enjoyed finding out more about my sweater, and thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join me for all the fun crochet and knit things. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!